you have to capture it in the moment. And if you don't capture it, like, it will leave you. Like Michael Jackson said, like, the melodies just come to you. God drops them on you. And you have to have a way to, like, keep them.
With such a huge following on social media, Spotify, you've clearly been strategic and worked hard to build your audience. And we all know, as I said, social media is the new resume and business card in this day and age. Can you share a little bit about your approach to social media? I was curious, how intentional are you and planned are you with how you post, what you post, when you post? How much of it is like more free-flowing and organic?
It's tough to say one defining moment for me. It's almost like it's a continuous evolving process that just keeps growing on itself. And then eventually, because I still obviously don't feel that I'm there.
What up, my friends? Welcome back. BrodieNeroTV, banging episodes, sick guests, most epic content, 2025. Let's go. Man, the dude I'm sitting with right now, 1 million followers on Instagram, over 3 million monthly listeners on Spotify, and I even read Snapchat named him the most entertaining man in the world. The one and only, Baddies Only. What's up, my bro?
How we doing, my man? You good?
Man, it's so good.
Thank you for having me. Good to be in Bali.
Yeah. Man, I'm so happy. It's awesome. We were talking about earlier how I saw you connect to the podcast page that I had after I posted an interview, I think with like Aaron Hirsch, maybe?
Yeah.
And then I was like, Baddies Only on the podcast? We got to get him to Bali.
And now we're physically here.
Yeah.
I think I was in Orlando and I saw him. He was talking about, he was like, I want the DJs to play their best before me.
Opening DJs,
because I'm going to be my best. And I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, yeah, you do it. 'Cause I played a show with him.
Okay.
So we did a show together in Mexico. So I love that energy. But yeah, so I saw the podcast and I was like, I love the idea. I love, I feel like we get to talk about our art and our process and the life and
exactly.
And we don't get to do it enough,
Yeah. I see a window of opportunity with this podcast. Not a lot of people doing it. I'm meeting so many amazing artists and people that are coming to Bali, so it's dope to do it, man. Glad you're here, bro. Man, before we get started, I want to bless you with a gift.
Oh, thank you.
So, Kenny Parker is an Australian-based clothing brand, and they opened up a boutique shop here in Canggu, Bali, a little while ago. So they've been hooking us up, keeping us fresh. So they got something for you here. You can pull it out, check it out.
Is it like a cologne?
Yeah.
Nice. A little t-shirt?
Yes.
A t-shirt action from Kenny Parker.
Yes.
All right, Kenny, I appreciate you.
Yes.
Thank
Shout
you,
out
Kenny.
Trent, the owner, Kenny Parker team. You know how we do, keeping everybody fresh.
All right.
Yes.
Tomorrow at the pool.
Let's do it, man. So, bro, long flight over here, all the way from Miami, Florida.
Well, we flew from Tulum. I had a show in Tulum at Bonbonniere, and then we flew from there to, actually, the day before Tulum, I was in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Okay.
And then I flew to Mexico, to Cancun. I forgot to get to Cancun. I had the show at Bonbonniere that night.
Yeah.
2 days later, fly to Dallas. Then from Dallas, it's actually from Dallas to Sydney is one of it's like top 10 longest flights. Don't quote me on it, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
It's 16 and a half hours. But the thing is, there's like a science to like these long flights. You got to plan when you're going to go to sleep, how much melatonin to take, when you're going to do your work, if you're going to eat breakfast, if you're going to eat food. How the quality of the food on the airline, because it depends on the airline. If you fly American Airlines, we got I got some
dog food.
Bro, I don't eat that. I'm telling you, don't eat American Airlines food. But we did Qantas, cool. And that was really good food. A shout out Qantas, you guys crushed it. And she upgraded me premium economy.
Ooh,
yeah, she hooked it up.
Nice, taking care of the star.
You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
So that was cool, and then from Sydney had a show last night? Yeah, it was literally last night. Had a show in Sydney, and then I flew here in the morning off of 2 hours of sleep, and 6 hours here, but we're here, man.
Cool. I haven't been to Australia in a long minute. What's the nightlife scene like there? Like, was it a good vibe or?
Yeah, it's good. It's wild. It's like there's a lot of energy. You know, it's balled up energy. I think like for a while because of COVID, they had a lot of really strict rules, so they balled the Australians up, and now they exploded. They're like just going ham now.
Wow.
So they have really good energy. They're really welcoming. They're really friendly. And when you go there, they really treat you well because it's so far from everything. So when they get like an artist, they really take care of them. Yeah, it's a cool spot. Definitely recommend Australia.
Nice. So I thought it was your first time in Bali, but you mentioned you've been here some years ago.
I did a little vacation type thing about 2022. Something. Had a couple friends come.
Yeah.
And we rented like an Airbnb and went out and went to like the beach clubs and had a little DJ sets at the house. And it was like, I mean, we rented this like ridiculous. It used to be a hotel and then it turned into a Airbnb, and it was like, I mean, like I don't know, $500-$600 a night.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a palace, like full staff. Dinners, I mean, like crazy on the beach access for $500 in Miami. You're getting like a studio apartment with like like someone yelling at you from the outside of your room. so it's like, man, what you get here, your bang for your buck is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I would agree. It's one of the great things of coming here.
It's the number one place in the world for me in terms of like, and besides the fact that like people are so nice here and welcoming and warm, which is one of the other things that, you know, I look for when I travel. It's like people are super friendly and welcoming, and you get to do so much for your dollar, you know?
Yeah, no doubt, man. So you've been here before. We were talking a little bit earlier about how you noticed the music scene's evolving a bit. When you knew you were getting booked here, what were some of like your initial thoughts? Is there anything you were anticipating, or what did you think about the idea of coming back to Bali again to play?
I mean, it's just, for me, it's so exciting to be able to travel and like experience different cultures, and I seen kind of like the music scene grow here. Mm-hmm. Just watching like my boy Hugel, like he's playing also tonight.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And all these other big artists are coming here and playing in them, and it's just like, it seems like that the scene has really exploded in like the last, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years, because I didn't see these artists when I came here in 2022.
It's true, man. Yeah, I would say even in just, I'm going on about 3 years being here next month or two, and it's like the level of artists and the frequency that they're coming.
Yeah, I feel like Hugel's been here like 3 times in like the last 3 months.
That's not a lie.
I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
Like, I swear to God, I think he's got like a monthly residency. Yeah. And God bless him for coming this, like that's a long flight from Miami. You know, that's no joke. But I mean, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
For
and
sure.
It's not bad, you know, when you figure it out and you go to sleep and you wake up and you're in paradise. So
yeah, could be worse.
I'm telling you, we were at the upstairs in the bar, and I'm like looking around and this view and this tequila's hitting right, and I'm just like, it could be worse, you know?
For sure, dude. Cool, man. So let's jump right into this. I mentioned earlier when we first met, I was looking online to try and understand and find the origin story of not just the Baddies Only name, but for me, the Baddies Only, although it's your artist name, to me, it's like a concept. It's an idea. It's a phenomenon. So I'm curious, what is the origin of the Baddies Only name? Like, I guess maybe your entry point into music and how this whole thing came about.
Do you want the short version or the long version?
I'm leaning into long.
Okay, we'll give you the long. Okay, so I got into music DJing in 2010.
Okay.
So when I went to college, well, in 2009 when I was in high school, I used to throw these like dance parties at my parents' house, and they would be like, "Look, you could throw these parties at the house, but nobody can bring in alcohol." So I hired a bouncer. My parents would go to dinner, and I would curate like a playlist on iTunes. Back in the day on iTunes, like all we had was iTunes.
Yeah.
And I would curate a playlist of like, I don't know, 30, 40 songs, and I would spend like hours crossfading from one song to the next song to the next song. And I'd play the playlist at the parties, and they were like huge hits. And I was like, damn, like this is fire. Like, I'm going to college next year. Okay, so I go to college. I go to school, University of Chicago. And I get there, and it's like a really nerdy school. Like this, the slogan of the school is "Where fun goes to die." So like there were no DJs, like that didn't exist. Like everyone people had an iPod at the party. So every time like the music would cut, you hit the next song, the music would cut. I was like, all right, let me buy some like DJ equipment.
Yeah.
And let me start DJing and let me play these parties. So at the time I was like joining a fraternity, and the fraternity was like the cool fraternity. So they were like, they had their own process. They were like, oh, we're not going to let this little kid like come in and DJ our parties. You know, he's pledging our fraternity, but whatever. We have our own system. So what I did was I went to one of the rival fraternities, and I was like, look, I'll DJ for you guys for free. And if you like it, you pay me like $100 next time. So crushed it, yada, yada, yada. Now my fraternity wants me to DJ. Then I start DJing there. I start playing. I get noticed from like some of the nightclubs downtown Chicago. I start playing all these clubs in Chicago. Now I'm in the circuit of like playing like major clubs in Chicago, and I'm like 19, 20 years old. At the same time, I'm making like remixes, mashups online, and these are like the times of like these online blogs. And those remixes got really popular on like SoundCloud as well. And so I started kind of like doing little tours, and I would like go to like other colleges. And one college, I would go to like University of Texas, and then I would go to like Alabama. And it's like I told you, my school was like really nerdy. So like going to like University of like Alabama, it's like you're like, what is life? Like, like this is like the most beautiful girls you've ever seen on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And they're just partying every day. Anyway.
Wow.
So I'm getting to live this dream like 18, 19 years old. I'm getting paid to go travel, go DJ. But I'm still not making like my own original music. It's all kind of like mashups and remixes and stuff like that. So then 2014 comes around. I move out to LA. I finished college, move out to LA. I really wanted to sing. I was really inspired by like Avicii. And I wanted to essentially sing and songwrite those types of songs, but sing them myself. So I got a vocal coach, started, learned, kind of taught myself how to songwrite, and, you know, was doing it like, bro, practicing every day, singing every day, going to her two times a week. And eventually released my first song in like 2016. That song went like number 7 most viral song on Spotify in the world. And I'm like, all right, here's my break. I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
Where the record labels, Sony, I'm ready. No, nothing. Birds chirping.
Wow.
Birds chirping, nothing. So I put out the second one. That one does like really well as well, like number 9.
Yeah.
And, but like, man, nothing was hit. Like the labels didn't come calling, and like being in the pop-ish dance scene, it was like you needed kind of like an infrastructure behind you to really like push you.
Okay.
So at this time, I'm paying the bills by DJing. So, you know, studio time and PR and whatever, I'm paying the bills with DJing. So fast forward 2-3 years, and it's not breaking. I'm not breaking as an artist. So I'm like, okay.
Still releasing consistently?
You know, it wasn't as consistent because I was very particular.
Okay.
And it was, you know, I was kind of changing genres a little bit and going maybe a little more urban with the sound. And so it was kind of experimenting, and but it wasn't hitting, right? So we get to 2019, and I'm in Mykonos. I'm DJing at this villa, like this crazy villa. And there's these like really beautiful girls behind me dancing, like in the video, of course. and I post the video to like Instagram, like a story. And one of my boys was like, bro, those girls are so bad. And I'm like, oh, the brand is only Baddies. And he's like, call your brand Baddies Only. So I was like, the next day I changed my name to Baddies Only on Instagram.
No way.
And then like for any show that I would have, I would invite a bunch of girls to come hang out and you know, party and drink and hang out in the booth and this and that. And so I would have all these videos of girls in the DJ booth dancing with me while I'm DJing. And I would post those to Instagram. So fast forward 6 months later, it's Corona time, right? It's COVID, May-ish 2020. My same guy who was telling me, he's like, yo, you gotta change your name Baddies Only, was like, yo, you gotta post these videos on TikTok because this platform is blowing up. And I'm like, no, that's for like little kids dancing. And he's like, no, trust me, just do it. So I was like, okay. So I post a video of one of the videos, 2 million views. I'm like, shit. At this time, bro, like I didn't have any money, like still, because like I'm still just using the money to pay rent and this and that, like and fund my music career, but I don't have any money. And then so all the clubs are closed in LA. I lived in LA at the time, so all the clubs are closed. So now it's like, okay, we're getting money. I don't know if this is probably legal, but basically we're getting money from the government. We were getting money from California, like $1,500 a week.
Same in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I did, so I saw the success of what was happening on when I was DJing, how to do all these videos for me DJing. So I was like, okay, so I told my boys, all right, look, let's rent a house in Cabo. It's a 2-hour flight from Los Angeles. Let's bring some girls. We'll shoot a ton of content, DJing, yada, yada, and I'll post it on TikTok. So we pool the money together. We go to Cabo. We shoot all this content. We come back, and I post it on TikTok, and it just goes crazy again. Millions views. Wow. And so it's like the first taste of like, I've been doing music thing for like 10 years, but it was the first taste of like real success, where it was a consistent success. And around that same time, I had produced Aquelas Colombianas, which was like the first song for me that kind of like broke as like this guy's a legitimate artist who makes like cool music.
Yeah.
And so basically you utilize TikTok and push that Aquelas Colombianas song. And then fast forward to 2022, so basically the Aquelas Colombianas was released kind of on a very small internet label. And in 2022, I got hit up by this. It was like the first kind of, it's not a major label, but it's a well-known label. And it's Ego from Italy. And they were like the first label that like believed in my music. So they basically licensed Aquelas Colombianas in the summer of 2022. And it ended up goes number 6 Shazam in the world for like 6 months, dance. And I'm like, fuck, this is crazy. Like, damn, this is like, and I'm going like, I was in Mykonos that summer. I was DJing in Mykonos that summer, and I'm like, had DJ equipment at the house, and the guy setting up the DJ equipment, I'm like testing the music, and I played my song. And he's like, oh, I love this song. I was like, you know this song? He's like, yeah, they play it in Mykonos town all the time. And I'm like, bro, like this is crazy. Like this is the first time I'm like, holy shit, like my music is having like an impact. So so that's kind of like the full backstory of the Baddies Only, and then obviously like subsequently like other tracks that I released, like the ELLE track that has like almost 100 million on Spotify now, and Tres Malas that's doing really well, like 35 million, and the other ones too, and then obviously a lot of unreleased music. But that's kind of the backstory of in short but long. That's how everything happened.
Yeah, wow. I'm curious, man. Sometimes I ask this question a little bit later on, but it sounds like you may have shared it already. But I'm always curious when I meet successful people in music, what is like the most clear, defining breakthrough moment where you were like, yo, I made it and this is for real. Like sometimes I had an ELLE on a little while ago and he said he was playing a festival and he was on stage, and while he's on stage, he gets the message that Afterlife signed a track, and Intervisions, a couple things like that. So I was curious for you, now that you've had like multiple levels of big success, like a video goes 2 million views, somebody tells you that they play this song in Mykonos all the time. What do you think is your defining moment where we're like, yo, I'm here now and this is really happening?
Yeah, it's a tough question because for me, I don't really see it as one moment. They're all kind of building blocks, and it's just a continuous growth until I think like, excuse me, I think it's a continuous growth, and like there are times at which you succeed at something, but then you succeed at that, and then you succeed at another thing, and you succeed at another thing, and then it all builds on each other. So like whether it was the TikTok success, that was a step, and then it was producing Aquelas Colombianas, and it was kind of like a first in its for its time. It was like this kind of Latin house. Like, yeah, there were Latin house tracks a long time before that, but in this era, it was like one of the first, if not the first, because I produced the track in like 2019. So, and then that doing those numbers, and then, you know, on Shazam, and then the ELLE track doing what it's doing, and then, you know, It's tough to say one defining moment for me. It's almost like it's a continuous evolving process that just keeps growing on itself. And then eventually, because I still obviously don't feel that I'm there. I want to keep achieving more and more and more.
Right.
So I think one day I might be like 70 years old and be like, wow, I finally made it. But like, I don't feel that, you know, I feel like the hunger is like, we're not stopping. Like we're just going and keep creating and like and building.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, I dig that for sure. Yeah, I feel like ambitious people that do well in life, they never really feel like they're there, quote unquote. Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool, man. Cool. So we brought you here to play in Miss Fish Bali, which is arguably one of the top venues here on the island. Shameless plug. Friday nights.
That's what I'm hearing. Everyone say in Australia they heard about it.
Wow.
They were talking about it. I was like, yeah, I'm playing Miss Fish. They were like, oh, I love that place.
Wow.
I was like, yeah.
Nice,
Got a good reputation.
No doubt, no doubt. So we'll be doing the Winter Festival. You'll be headlining. I'm lucky enough to get to open up for you.
Let's get it.
We'll get after it. So the reason why I wanted you to come play Miss Fish was because the Miss Fish sound truly is like Afro, Latin, and a little splash of tech in there. Vocals, fire vibes, this is you. And I was curious, what as an artist pulled you to that sound? Was it something to do with like growing up in Florida and Miami and everything? Do you got a thing for Latina women? What pulled you to that sound and stick with it throughout your career?
So I feel like we can break that down in a couple pieces. One, if you were to go like kind of the vocal direction or the vocal piece of that, to me, like I learned early on that like the vocal is king, like the melody especially, like melody is king. So people really gravitate to the vocals, especially like I can give you an instrumental and it'll perform to a certain level, right? But if I put a vocal on it that gels really, really well with that instrumental, that can be a 100 million stream track as opposed to a 2 million stream track, 5 million stream track. So kind of, I think what really helped me as well was the mashup days when I was in, 2010 to 2014. I would spend just like, a ridiculous amount of hours trying to match instrumentals with vocals, downloading acapellas and then just layering them and changing the keys and transposing them and seeing what fit on where and in structure and arrangement. So for me, that I think that really helped kind of build my sensibility when it comes to vocals and arrangement on tracks. And then in terms of the Latin stuff, I started going when I was doing around 2020, because LA was completely shut down, there were certain countries that were kind of open, and Colombia was one of them, and Brazil was one of them. So I would actually fly there, and like I just would like spend like weeks at a time in those countries, and fell in love with the cultures. And I just love the passion and the energy and the expressiveness of those cultures, and I really get along with them. And I studied a little bit of Spanish when I was in high school and in college, and then when I went to those places, first I picked up the Spanish, and then I learned Portuguese after. I did have a girlfriend that for 3 years that was from Brazil. So if you want to learn a language, get a girlfriend from the country.
Okay, got you.
That's tip number one.
Yeah.
So that really influenced the kind of Latin infusion into the music. And in Colombia has this like amazing folk sound that is extremely, the melodies are amazing. And so I draw a lot from them. But yeah, that's kind of in terms of the Afro-Latin, Brazilian and vocal and yeah, all that good stuff.
Yeah, nice. Obviously you're feeling comfortable sitting in that genre and that niche. Do you ever get any desires or ideas to deviate from the path of Afro and Latin and tech? Do you ever think about trying something else or any plans to?
Yeah, so kind of like the Adele track that I have more releases coming this year that are more that lane, which is, I kind of like to call it electro tech. It's like kind of minimal synths, but melodies, but very simple with a nice vocal on top. Production wise, like simple melodies, but catchy. And I was inspired in that way from like Avicii's early, like 2010, 2009. Also like Axwell, like Sebastian Ingrosso, like Steve Angelo, like that era of house music where it was minimal and it was like these kind of techier drums. And there was so much energy in those like build-ups, and they were just so, and then the drops were like very minimal, and it's, to me, it's like, so it's still sexy, but not too much. And so I'm going to be doing a lot of that this year.
Cool.
I have one that's already done that's going to come out soon. That's really fire. I'm super excited about that one. So yeah, so that would be kind of like, I kind of live in these kind of both those two worlds.
Nice. Dude, just going left field a little bit, I'm curious, like there's a lot of controversy and talk around the Afro House space. This is kind of like a two-pronged question, but I'm just curious, generally speaking, your opinion. What's your thoughts on the state of like Afro House, let's say, and Afro Latin music? Because some people are saying some like negative connotations towards it in terms of like there's cheesy edits and everybody's becoming a DJ now. Everybody's playing Afro House and it's just like abusing it and kind of ragdolling it around and like kind of washing it.
Yeah.
I even saw somebody, like a clip, as far as someone saying it's been gentrified, and I was like, whoa, that's a bit extreme.
Okay,
but like,
okay, we're getting into the political realm right now. Okay, yeah, I mean, I hear what people are saying. To me, like the best music rises to the top, and I think especially nowadays with the algorithms, like you can make all the cheesy edits you want, but like what really is gonna rise to the top is like originality and like being a master of your craft. So like, yeah, you can start and you can make these like little edits that are cute and whatever, which is like that, you know, a lot of us play, you know, a lot of us play these kind of cute edits
and they work.
Mm-hmm. But am I going to stamp my name on that edit and say this is mine and I'm putting that as my art? No. But, you know, to each his own, and like everyone starts at a different point in their career, and as long as you just keep working hard and like get better at your craft, you eventually will reach that point of originality. I think that's kind of how it works. Like,
yeah, I like that. I mean, sometimes I feel it's a good and bad mindset. Sometimes I'm like, man, like another guy became a DJ. We were saying it earlier. I was like, man, this guy hit me up and now he wants to get booked. And I was like, man, why is everybody doing this? But I think at the end of the day, things are trendy. And a lot of times when people see that something looks cool, for example, becoming a DJ and pursuing a career, it looks attractive and you want to be in the spotlight. But are you going to stick with it and thug it out to be successful and make money and put out good music and travel across the world and exhaust yourself and all? Like, are you really ready for it?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's exactly, it's people see, they think it's an overnight success when it's a, you know, 15-year journey or 20-year journey. You know, for some people, now are popping now that have been playing for like 20 years. You know what I mean? So, yeah, exactly. I mean, I put it this way. It's a great analogy. Imagine going to work every day and you would turn in an assignment to your manager and he would every day say, that's terrible. No, that sucks. That's terrible. That sucks. Every single day for 15 years, for 10 years, you go to work and the guy says, no, that sucks. That's trash. Why are you doing this? This is terrible. Why do you do this? Why are you continuing this? And then one day you show up to work and everyone's like, this is fire. Yeah. That's what being an artist is. It's 10, 15 years of every day you have to have that persistence to just, that's the level of persistence you need to have to make it.
Wow.
And belief in yourself, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
dude, I love it.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, a lot of the content I put out and a lot of what resonates with me is like this motivational stuff, this mindset stuff, this self-belief, because this is like the catalyst to make it all happen.
Yeah, if you don't believe in yourself, who will? I mean, people believe in you because you believe in yourself.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like if I'm up there DJing, right? And I'm just like
looking timid.
Yeah. And people are going to be like, okay, well, like, he's not into it. Why am I into it? But if you're up there and you're like, you know, you're vibing, the confidence is going, they feel that. People's energy is real. Like, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
You can feel people's energy. You can look at someone and you can tell, how do they feel?
Yeah.
Are they responding? And so, yeah, it's exactly. So That's yeah, it's a real thing.
Man, it reminds me of this story. So we had Patrice Baumel here at Atlas Super Club last year, and he's a big dude, you know what I mean? And I noticed when he played, like his posture is just always up and he's always staring at the crowd, like very rarely looking down. And I was like, man, like you're just staring at everybody. Like, don't you feel like a little bit shy or something like that? And it really rubbed off on me because there's sometimes, you know, you're walking into a new venue, it's a new crowd, new city, new country, whatever. And you like sometimes take a few minutes, a couple songs to like start getting into it.
For sure.
And it always comes back to my mind. I'm like, man, think about Patrice Baumel just staring the shit out of everybody, never looking away. Like, and then that people feel it. They feel that confidence.
Man. It's that's a great point because it's hard to get to that level where you have to be very confident in what you're playing. Like you need to be confident in the room. You know what you're playing in that room.
Yeah.
That you know that they're gonna enjoy what you're gonna play and that together you're gonna enjoy that experience. And if you have that confidence in your set and what you're gonna play, you can look up with your head up proud and be like, what's up? Like, we doing this, you know?
Yeah.
If you're like I've played many shows where it was the wrong room and you kind of just want to go into your shell and you're like, oh, okay, when is this going to end? Like, when is this show going to end? Like, we've all done it, you know what I mean? And like, it still sometimes happens, you know? Like, you still play somewhere where, you know, maybe the promoter loves your music and wants you for that club and, you know, wants to elevate the club, but the clientele's not there, you know? Like, the people don't want that music. So you still kind of, and it humbles you. Man, the world humbles you. They love to bring you up and bring you right back down. And that's you know what I mean, bro?
Yeah.
So yeah, but if you really are confident, if you're going into a set and you know, okay, like I know what kind of room this is, I know what I'm gonna play, I know what's gonna work, then you can literally be that guy who's like looking up and making eye contact is so important. I mean, it's like you're people want to like. It's personable, you know? They want to like see you and be with you and engage with you.
Yeah, no, I love it, man. And just something else came up for me that I think is an important thing too, knowing the room and also knowing your music. I've noticed the times that I've really gone through my music and organized it in a way specific for a gig, the level of confidence I have when I'm playing is so different than like, you know, say for example, if something happens and I don't play for a few weeks and I haven't checked my music, then I go play the gig. I'm always like,
you're like a robot a little bit.
Yeah.
Even the alcohol won't help.
Yeah,
you're
dude.
still like, I don't know. Knowing the music is like, I even get scared when you would download new music, and I'm like, fuck, I don't know these songs that well. Like, I don't know what to hear. I started to hear.
Yeah.
But you listen. Okay, here. Okay, this and that. Okay, let me put it maybe after this song would be cool. Okay, this is going into this, and sometimes I even test it like beforehand. I'll be like, okay, well. Maybe I'll do like I'll run through these ones because we'll do a little Arabic run on this one and then we'll throw this one here that has a little English vocal maybe to get, you know, depending on where we are in the world. And yeah, I mean, it's all knowing your music it's everything.
Yeah, for sure, man. I even had an interesting experience where now I'm trying to make sure, if possible and when possible, I'm listening to all of my new songs or any music on my monitors, because sometimes if I'm just listening on a laptop, I can't hear the bass line.
No, yeah.
And I had this one track and I was like, okay, this is cool. The percussion's sick. There's some vocals. It'll be fine. And I played it and the bass line went, it's not even that it was flat. It just went some weird wonky direction, and it was like people in the room were like, the fuck is this guy playing? I was like, yo, when's this song gonna end?
How can I transition out? When can I transition out?
Yeah, so I'm trying to listen on monitors as often as possible.
Yeah, even just on like some good headphones.
Or headphones too, yeah.
I've made that mistake many times.
The laptop speakers can be deceiving.
Very much. Like, I'll play songs on like DJ websites and be like, wow, this sounds dope, and then I'll put on my headphones like, the fuck what was I thinking? Like, delete.
Yeah. Get prepared. Dude, segueing into production now, you posted a story on IG the other day, and it was a picture of the conveyor belt at the airport and your laptop in front, Ableton Project open, and you said something to the effect of, felt inspired, had to get it in. I want to talk a little bit more detail about this. Tell us a bit about this moment, where the inspiration came from, and what did you do with the inspiration, and where is that specific project heading, do you think? We're going deep.
That project is like it's more Afro tribal. For that specific project, the track, the drums are done, the feel is amazing, and like I kind of like I said earlier, for me the vocal is king. So now it's like, okay, I have these amazing drums, I have these amazing, and I'm like, I really want to get this track done, and I know it's fire, but like I'm putting this vocal, it's not working. Like, let me try this vocal, it's not working. Okay, because now I'm gonna have to tweak the bass line so it fits with the vocal, and then maybe add some more synths, different synths. So like a lot of my process is like, you know, it's not overnight with these songs. Like some songs, like the idea is overnight, but like some they marinate. Like, man, like this one electro tech song I was telling you about or before, like that track I've been working on for like a year and a half, like maybe, yeah, probably over a year and a half. And it took me like one time I was like, I was just singing over it and I was like, okay, that's the vocal that needs to go over it. Yeah. So, you know, cause you're doing so many things in your day. You're doing social media, you're producing, you're getting ready for your shows, you're buying flight tickets, you're inviting people to your show. Like you're doing a million things. So your brain capacity only functions, you know, so much on so many things. So for me, I think it's important, like, yeah, you need to be consistent. That's extremely, extremely important. But you also need to provide quality, like, and it needs to be very high quality. You can't just throw on anything and be like, this works, you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of, that's, and then going back to like the more of the inspiration, like at the conveyor belt, it's like, okay, like I just landed, like I was listening to, like, I didn't have internet on the plane. So then I'm just going through my files on my phone that I had sent to my airdrop to my phone to listen back to like some of the instrumentals. Yeah. I'm like, oh, this is fucking fire. Like, I need to finish this. Okay. Yeah. And then I'm at the conveyor belt. I'm like, let me open the project. Okay. Let me throw this in. Okay. Yeah, yeah. So it's kind of like, there's just like itch, you know? And I was just like, when it's there, it's there. I mean, as an artist, like it doesn't like, you know, we're artists. We're not normal humans. Like, I'm not a person who just is like 9 to 5. Okay. Like I need the inspiration. And when the inspiration comes, get the fuck out of the way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I wanted to ask, like, how important is it for you to act in that moment on that project? Is it like I'm assuming, and you can let me know, like in that moment, like the right sample or hi-hat or vocal placement could happen, and it's like if you don't act on it, if you could forget it, it could like jeopardize the future of the song's success. Like,
bro, when I get into a session, like I start my phone, like the Voice Record Pro app, I press play and I leave it because you'll write things and sing things and play things, and you have to capture it in the moment. And if you don't capture it, like it will leave you. Like Michael Jackson said, like the melodies just come to you. God drops them on you, and you have to have a way to like keep them. And if like, it's not like sometimes you have a melody and it's amazing and if you don't remember it, you're like, fuck, what was that melody? But maybe the rhythm was a little bit different than you're now singing it, when the rhythm is like very important too. The cadence is extremely important. So like you need to capture it in the purest form, and that's why like you do it in the moment, you know, like get it. Yeah. And so that's the way my brain's like, sometimes sometimes probably to a fault, but I'm, you know, we're artists. Like I said, that's my excuse. We're artists.
Yeah. And it's got to get done.
Yeah. I don't want to risk losing something great.
Right.
You know? So that's why it's like, pull it out anywhere. Do it at any cost. Like we had food come into the studio yesterday in Sydney. Someone literally goes, they're like, food's hot. I was like, I don't care.
This project's hot.
I was like, you hear this melody? We got to finish this. We got to figure out how to finish this melody, how to connect these melodies here. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, that's where my head's at. It's like, how do we get like, I want the purest form. I want to get it perfect, and takes, you know, that just awareness and attention.
Yeah. No, I love that, man. I love that. Cool. I noticed on Spotify, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's been about an average of like 5 releases per year for you over the last several years, give or take. Is that accurate?
I think this year we did more.
Okay.
This year we might have done like 8 maybe.
Okay,
maybe
for 2024 you mean?
2024, yeah.
Okay, nice.
Maybe 7 or 8, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Not enough. Definitely, my managers are like, bro, what is this shit?
Okay, got you. Well, see, this is my preceding questions was like, why this speed/frequency? Is it strategic to release at this? Is it enough for you? Do you want to do more potentially? Like, what is optimal release schedule for you?
You know, I think as you grow as an artist and you become more proficient in your craft, like you become faster at finishing and making music. And, you know, it's all a process, it's all growth. And so, you know, so now at this point in my career and at this point of my skill, my craft, I'm able to now produce at a more consistent, high level that in the past I wasn't. You know, you just got to be honest. Like before I say, okay, I can make one cool record every year and a half. Okay, yeah. Now it's like I'm sitting on like 5 like really fire tracks, you know, that we're gonna boom, 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 boom. So, you know, I think it's just like I said earlier, it's just a process, and like you don't just get to consistent quality overnight. And I never wanted to be that guy who was, I have a million projects, but I never wanted to be that guy who was just constantly releasing something, because I think it's super important for your brand and for your identity, so that when a human sees that you're releasing a song, a fan releases, they know that it's going to be good. And like when I knew Avicii was releasing a song, when I knew Swedish House Mafia was releasing a song, when I clicked on it, I was like, I knew it was going to be dope.
Yeah.
And I don't want to ever be that artist who's like releases a track and, you know, it's like, that's okay. I want it to be like, this is me. Like I put this out. I worked long time on this. And like, if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine. But I still put my everything into this song. So it's to also cite a little bit to a fault as well. But as you grow as an artist, I feel like, and you become more proficient in your craft, like you're able to release more. And that's, I think, where we are now for 2025.
Yeah, no, I fucking love that, bro, because I've had different answers, obviously, from different people. There's people that are all about speed and frequency because it's such a crazy world. There's so much content. There's so much releases every week. So much stuff gets lost in the sauce. And to stay relevant and, you know, people knowing who you are, essentially, you have to keep releasing. So I've heard that perspective. Then I've heard you never compromise one single bit what you're putting out. Take your time, 1 or 2 releases a year. I like what you're saying is that speed is okay and speed is good as long as it's not compromising who you are as an artist and the quality of the product. So if you want to release one song every single month or one every 2 weeks, it better be the best.
It better be amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it better be good. And like, you better have like worked your ass off on that song.
Yeah.
Or else why are you putting your name on it? I mean, and I get the idea. It's like, I get the content thing. I get like, we are in a different age than we were 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I mean, I can't fathom pressing play on a song and saying, hey, this is mine, and someone listening to it and I'm ashamed of the song. Like, I have a visceral reaction, as any artist probably does, when they play a song for someone and I like, you're kind of like, you go into your little turtle shell and you're like, you like it? You like it or not? And you're like, and then you wait to see the reaction. Like, and if I'm not like, I gave this my all, I can't, my body's like, will reject it, you know?
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, you got to put out a lot of music. You got to do it consistently because that's the name of the game now. So I'm in the middle. Like I just, you know, I understand both sides, and but I lean more obviously to like the artistic integrity. But you know, it is what it is. We live in this world, and we gotta adapt.
Yeah, that's it. Love it, dude. I like to spend a little bit of time on this category. I call it social media marketing / branding, etc. Just because, you know, I say it pretty much every episode. The phones are like an extension of us. Instagram's like the new business card / resume. This is where people go to vet their approval on you, let's say. So with such a huge following on social media, Spotify, you've clearly been strategic and worked hard to build your audience. And we all know, as I said, social media is the new resume and business card in this day and age. Can you share a little bit about your approach to social media? I was curious, how intentional are you and planned are you with how you post, what you post, when you post? How much of it is like more free-flowing and organic, etc.?
I would say, like, you could never post enough. Like, in terms of if you have good content, like, the more consistent you can be, the better it is. The better the algorithm's going to treat you. The better the more you're going to be the people's faces. They're going to see you, and obviously, like, there is the fine tuning of your content to where you are successful in your content, where people like are responding positively to your content, it's performing well, and that does take a lot of time and it takes a lot of money. Like, you have to build out infrastructure of videographers around the world, wherever you're playing. You got to bring one. You have to fund all of that. I mean, it's an expensive task, like and it's not like there are a million super talented people. Like, you have to find and mine through all these different people to find really good, hardworking, dedicated people. So it's its own, like, it's its own what's the word? It's its own, like,
it's its own thing, pretty
world.
much, like separate from music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you need to be good at social media, and you need to be good at, like, executing social media. So you need to be essentially like a CEO and at the same time a creative. That's on the social media side, not creative on the music side. Like, because they're two different worlds. It's like, how can you keep someone's attention span for 12 seconds in order for that video to go viral, for the algorithm to decide, okay, that person watched that video for the entirety of the video, therefore they liked it, therefore we're going to recommend it to everyone else. Yeah. So it's like, and then can you create a caption that's clever enough, not cheesy, but clever enough so that it engages the audience and it's different, and then can you go reference other older successful posts that have done well, but make it in your own way. I mean, there's like,
it gets that deep. It really does.
To the angle of the shot, to what's in the shot, the scenery, the lighting. Like, is it bright enough? Like, is the color of the light white enough? Is it too yellow? Is it too white? Are the additional lights that are being on you in the club, are they also complementing, or is it making you look a certain color? Like, is the song that you're playing a new song? Do you want to showcase new songs? Do you have also, are you playing the same? Are you showcasing new music and providing new content to your fans, and not just playing the same, 20 songs that, in your set? So it's like, and is that content engaging when you're playing that new song? So, like, are there things going on in the video? Do you have any viral things that, is like, ELLE posted this one video of this guy falling over in the booth at Space. I mean, it's genius. I mean, I don't know if you orchestrated it, because it would be genius if you orchestrated it. Yeah. But either way, it's like, that's a viral piece of content. So, like, it's its own animal. That's what it's its own beast. Yeah. Like, it's just like, and yeah, like, a lot of it is planned, but what ends up happening is, like, the most viral clips and the most things that work the best are the ones that are, like, really organic. Yeah. And the viewer just kind of just connects naturally to it. Like, for example, my mom came to my show in Orlando, and she was just, me and her were dancing in the booth. And I was like, bring your mom to the club and she'll teach you how to party. Yeah. And it did really well. And I was like, it wasn't like planned. I didn't plan to shoot a video with my mom, but yeah. So yeah, so man, there's so many layers to that. Like, yeah. And then like I said, kind of going back to like going to work every day and your boss says you suck. Like, you're posting every day, and the algorithm is saying this isn't good. 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 Mm-hmm. And you need to have the balls to keep being like, you know what? Fuck you, algorithm. I'm gonna keep going. And you keep going. You keep going. You keep going. And finally, you hit one. And you're like, okay, let me keep doing that one. Yes. Because that works. And you want to keep doing what works, because that's how you have success. So, like, when I did the ELLE track, I was like, okay, this works. Mm-hmm. It's cool. It's dope. It's a vibe. This style works for people. They like it. So I'm going to keep doing that. You don't go run. Some people are like, oh, that worked. I'm going to Go this side. No, you do that.
Yeah, bro. I was trying to tell somebody that I know, and like they had something go super viral on Instagram, and I was like, another company I was working with, they had like this social media specialist, and he said, find out one piece of content, analyze if it does really well, analyze its format, and just do that piece of content over and over
and over.
Don't start diversifying. People are coming to see one thing from you. Just do it.
Because they'll fall in love with you at the end of the day. You just got to find that content that brings them there.
Yeah.
And if they brings them there, eventually they're going to see you enough and like you enough, and then they become a fan. And then, you know, so that's, that's a grueling world, that social media. It's a little toxic in my opinion, like social media in general. Like,
can be.
It's a tough world, like just constantly comparing yourself to others. That's why I try to like not be on it as much. It's like it's a drug, man. Like you just kind of pop back in, pop back out, pop back in. It's like you got to get that dopamine rush.
Yeah.
But finding a nice balance and like figuring out what content works for you, and then replicating that and doing that again, and then you'll have success.
Yeah, love it, man. Great feedback. Dude, I want to go a little deep here. I didn't know, I just looked it up online now. You have friggin' 12 million followers on Spotify. TikTok.
Yeah.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah.
And like, just to think about it for a moment, you've amassed massive numbers online. Clearly you're living a super fun and exciting life.
A hungover life.
Yeah, of course. Baddies Only, the lifestyle. Baddies Only. It's not the artist name, it's a lifestyle.
Oh, man, I love that.
Cool.
I'm dead.
I'm curious, dude, just getting a little deep here for a minute. Why do you think that this life has manifested for you?
Did you have me?
Yeah.
I didn't choose it, it chose me.
I love it, bro. But like, you know, thinking back to the days when you just moved to LA, even before that, when you were younger.
Yeah.
Did you have visions when you were younger of doing something of this magnitude? Did you feel you have a calling? I'm just curious, like why I'm always so amazed by people that achieve massive success in their life. And maybe you look at yourself and you're maybe a bit critical and think you have a long way to go, but let's call it what it is. The average human being that looks at what you've achieved would be like, fuck, man, like I could only dream of something like that. So I'm just curious, aside from hard work, why do you think this has happened for you? Are you a spiritual person? Do you have a certain belief system? Did you have family that poured into you when you were younger? Did you have visions when you were younger? Like why? Just curious, why has this happened for you?
Man, I think you put in your 10,000 hours in whatever it is that you do, that you want to do, and you're just persistent and you don't stop. And when people say no, you keep going. Man, I had managers who literally would tell me like 10 years ago, be like, this is terrible. You should stop making music. Like, so like I think like if you really believe in yourself and you constantly educate yourself, like that's the key, is like you keep learning, you don't stop. And that's one thing that is great about traveling, and you get to go to other countries and learn from and get in the studio with other producers and see how they produce, and go with other songwriters and see how they write, and other session players, and even talk to people who are like, for example, I'll be in Colombia and I'll be like, what music, what's your favorite song right now? Or I'll say, what songs did you listen to when you were younger? Like, and you just kind of accumulate all this knowledge and things that you didn't know growing up where you grew up. And I think that learning process is like what creates like long-term successes. If you never stop learning, reading is a huge thing. And then obviously I think also like, I had really supportive parents who like, pushed me hard, but also were very supportive in what I wanted to do. My sister was a lawyer, my brother's a doctor, and I'm the black sheep, I'm like a DJ. And so yeah, I mean, it's a combination of a lot of things, but constantly learning, I think. I mean, even today, it's like, you pull up a tutorial, and you pull up another, you pay for a class, and you just constantly like learning and refreshing your brain and challenging yourself. And like, okay, well, like for example, like I don't know how to play the congas, but like now I'm on YouTube and I'm like, okay, well, like, what are the most classic rhythms? Like, how do you play? Like, why does this rhythm work? Where is he hitting the conga, and what sound is it making? And like, so like, okay, and then you go, and then all of a sudden, like, you're learning a whole new thing that you didn't know a month ago. And it's like anything you have a question about in life or in what you do, it's like you go search for that answer, and then once you do that for a long time, and all the things that you want to learn, you're gonna be an intelligent, successful person.
Wow. I love it, dude. It's crazy because usually the last question that I ask is like, imagine there's a DJ producer out there. They're basically just local residencies. They've put out a couple songs on smaller labels. They're trying to break through to an international level, but you pretty much just gave them the sauce of how to like increase their value and create and achieve more success.
Yeah, it's constantly learning. And getting in the room with people that are better than you. Like, that's the other thing. Like, you know, I've been in many rooms where people were more talented pianists, where people are more talented producers. You know, and that's the most important thing, man. You got to be humble enough to like know what your skill sets are and where you need to improve, yet confident enough to know that you'll succeed. So,
dig it.
That's
Super dope,
it,
man. Appreciate you, bro. Well, homie, just want to take a moment to acknowledge you. Appreciate you coming all the way
Thank
to
you for
Bali,
having me, man.
doing
I'm
this
stoked
podcast.
to be here.
Yeah,
Stoked
and
to be here.
we'll burn it down in Miss Fish tonight.
Let's burn it.
Guys, you know what to do. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what other type of content you want, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace, love, and light. Let's go.